Hello, Taurus. How's it going? I'm going to do a no contact tarot reading for you guys. I'm using a beautiful deck called the Orion's Animal Tarot. And I wanted to do this reading because it is my most requested reading. Everybody loves a good old no contact reading, but I don't actually do them as often as you guys want me to. I just spent some time doing the full 12-month readings for your sign. For the sign of Taurus, if you want to know what's going on in your love life for every single month in the year of 2026. I almost said 2012. Your reading is already uploaded in a playlist on the front of my YouTube channel. And it took me about 3 weeks to get those done. So now that I've got those done, those are lengthy readings. Like I said, it's going over 12 months. So those are lengthy. They took me some time, and now I'm back to do this for you. So let's get into it. Are you going to hear from your person? That is the key. A no contact tarot reading. The first thing that stands out to me is the Moon card, which denotes confusion and emotions and a period of darkness, a period of having the moon filling you up at a time when you need to be on your own. I also do like, though, that this is a card of fertility. Mothering qualities. So for those of you who are coming to this no contact reading for love and relationships, you might be in a relationship with a particular person. Maybe you're not on talking terms with this person, but this person could be related to, someone that you're trying to have a family with. Your spouse, your partner, your husband, your wife. For those of you who are not in relationships, just a heads up, this could be an actual family member, like a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a parent, because that moon card is showing up. And let's not forget, for those of you who are not in a relationship with somebody, maybe you're separated from someone, or maybe you just are in a friend zone and you have your eye on somebody. The moon card does denote heavy emotions for this person, but also like a waviness of your moods. It could be like one moment you're kind of really hopeful, really filled with progress of the full moon. And then the next moment, like the moon that waxes and wanes, you feel kind of drained and you're just like, is this ever going to get, is this relationship or this friendship ever going to develop into more? What we have here next is the Four of Cups in the reversal. It's a sentiment of gratitude, which I do like. When the Four of Cups is in the upright, it has a propensity to mean somebody who is stubborn and not seeing the reality of things because they are focusing more on the loss. But in the reversal, I always love the intuitive feel of the cups now being above the person, pouring all of their wonderful, good energy on top of the person who was seemingly frustrated. And if that is in the reversal, then for some reason, it insinuates that you're going to have a reason to be grateful. And a lot of the times that can come through communication with this particular person. If you are having difficulties with someone, gratitude is the key for that. Developing gratitude and feeling gratitude. And then we have the Two of Pentacles here. And this is almost explaining what you have to be grateful for, because the gratitude card came in. You guys are not going to believe this. Most people look at this card and they're like, oh my gosh, somebody's balancing all of this hard work. Because they usually look at the Two of Pentacles on traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and it's a man who's holding two coins, and it looks like he's juggling them on one leg. It's like a lot of hard work. If you ever imagine juggling a whole bunch of big coins and you're only standing on one leg, probably a little bit more difficult than we would think, or we might anticipate. Just by looking at the energy, it's kind of looks like a debacle. But in the alternative, historically, over 100 years ago, the Two of Pentacles was described as Arthur Edward Waite, or by Arthur Edward Waite, which is the man who created our traditional tarot. Actually, I have it right here. Created the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which this Animal Orion's deck is based off of. And he said that the Two of Pentacles means, okay, hear it out, please. Perfect contentment, satisfaction, and ecstasy. Yeah. Let me just show you why it seems so crazy. I'll get you the card now that I have the deck in my hand. I love doing this. I love showing you guys the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck because it's so filled with symbolism. And when I say, right here, right? When I say, let me show you this, doesn't it look like this guy's got a lot on his plate? He's like standing on one foot. The waters behind him are like filled with rocky emotions. One moment he's like, what do I hold? What do I, like, how do I do this? You would think that's what he's doing. But what he's actually doing is mastering the situation so that people recognize you. It is a card of recognition for being able to balance so much. And when you can balance things into perfection, that is what brings the state of ecstasy. Historically, and when we think of the concept of ecstasy, we think of supreme happiness. We think of people who are meditating, people who are doing the Kundalini concepts, people who are joining with God in Christian religions, and suddenly they pour out with ecstasy, happiness, unity. That's what ecstasy is about. It's about divine union. So when I see this reading and we see the card of gratitude, which is what comes with ecstasy, and we see a card of ecstasy and balance insinuates perfection. That's why Arthur Edward Waite looked at this card with its divine balance. You see that big figure 8 there, right? The infinity symbol. We see that balance, and we can see that in your life with your person, whoever it is, family or lover or friend. You are going to have balance, and you're going to be supremely happy with how it works on the end. The problem for you is, like I said, with the moon energy, it is the rockiness of the emotions, but the reminder that even through the struggle of those oceans behind him, or your emotions, even through the struggle and the waviness of life, the size of that ship is huge. It has the ability to conquer that massive wave. That's not a ship that's overturned. So your relationship with this person is not overturned. And rest assured, that big ass ship behind him has a lot of gold on it. There is a lot of good utilization and outcome for you resolving this issue with this person. That's why pirate ships and battlement ships are so evident in tarot readings like the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck when they depicted them. That's because those ships denote victory and conquering and overcoming challenges. And whenever an old medieval king went to conquer with his ships, he brought a whole bunch of gold back from him. Okay, this denotes overcoming success. Overcoming challenges, giving you success is what I meant to say, through overcoming very high waves and difficulties with a person. Will you hear from this person? Absolutely. You are going to have communication from this person. And sometimes it shows up like it could be a little bit of a up and down situation, but victory in the end. So go with the ebb and flow. Don't be afraid of some high waves sometimes. Easier said than done, I know, but I'm just saying. For the sake of those of you who can overcome challenges that are a little heavier, it's just a little bit of a heads up that you could find some heavier waves, but you will get through them. You know what's interesting? In this reading, intuitively, I keep slightly, very slightly, not fully, but very slightly almost stuttering and tripping my words up. And I want to say that I bet you that's what you guys do in this dynamic with this person. It's like saying almost the wrong thing when people mean the right thing. It's like you and your person have been trying to communicate truths to each other, but you say it in a way that doesn't rub off well to the other person. These, by the way, these are also not cards of people trying to be malicious. It's just people who don't necessarily communicate the right way for the other person to perceive. But what I'm going to do here, the reason I'm shuffling these cards is because now that I see that you guys are going to communicate, I want to know what you're going to communicate about. What's up? Okay. 10 of Cups in the reversal position. 3 of Wands. And then, these cards are so cute. 3 of Cups. This is an interesting avenue. 10 of Cups is typically supposed to be unity and coming together. It's the ultimate happiness card. It's the card of people who traditionally have rainbows and sunshines coming out of their behind. In the reversal position, it's not as happy and cuddly feeling. So again, just be aware that when you communicate with this person, they may not have the dynamic of wanting to be super cuddly with the way they express themselves. And instead, with the 3 of Wands, they might have a wantingness to show their authority or strength or personal power. because the Three of Wands is somebody in the upright who stands in their personal power. And they do it by planning. The story of the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands, I think, is a beautiful depiction, because the Two of Wands comes right before that Three of Wands, and it is a person that looks like Alexander the Great, which is what Arthur Edward Waite spoke of when he described the Two of Wands. In the picture of the Two of Wands, he's standing there, and I'm saying the Two of Wands on purpose here. Just give me a moment. The Two of Wands, Alexander the Great, the emperor of, what was it? In the end, Greece? No, he can't. Well, yeah, he came from Macedonia, essentially. Conquered so many lands, but before he did that, he stood in that card on top of his fortress, and he looked out to all the world, and he said to himself, I want that area over there. And I want that area over there. He had to plan it out. So it's a picture of a person in a position of authority looking at what they want. And in the Three of Wands, they're no longer standing in a place where they feel like they have to battle everybody. So the battling proponent of you talking to this person is going to come down since you get it in the Three of Wands. And this is now why I'm going to talk about the Three of Wands. Because now in the Three of Wands, Alexander the Great's character is no longer standing on that battle tower. He's actually looking at the end goal. He does see that there's going to be some difficulty, but he does desire to go and achieve something. And in order for him to do that, he has to stand, A, in a position of authority, but B, in a position of power in his own authority to do it. And then we've got the Three of Cups in the reversal here. By the way, we have 2 threes, so we're going to talk about that in a moment. The Three of Cups is, in the reversal, it's disunity. Like the Ten of Cups, it's people who have not come together. So there might be conversations that you have that still kind of sit on that friction energy of somebody who's over-focused on the separation. But also the Three of Cups in the reversal is somebody who has it's like a dynamic within them where they want to talk about things in excess. Because that's the card of excess. It's traditionally a picture of people drinking wine. They're usually celebrating, though. They're supposed to be coming together in the Three of Cups card. Like to celebrate in that card traditionally. I'm not saying it's going to be you guys, but traditionally it's a picture of a wedding ceremony. And in history, like in an ancient sense, it was the triple goddess energy coming together. But in any case, they are people who are uniting with one another. In the reversal, it denotes, again, lack of unity. Also, I want to say that the Three of Cups traditionally and in an ancient sense might have a little bit of Dionysian energy to it, which was a Greek goddess, or a Bacchic, not goddess, god, or a Bacchic kind of element to it, which has to do with excess. And I say that because your previous portion of this reading talked about ecstasy. And ecstasy is supremely good and has to do with union, but overindulgence and drunkenness is a theme of the Three of Cups. So it can talk about realizing in conversation with someone that they might still be a little bit drunk on their ego. So yes, there's communication, but there's still this dynamic of people who think that they sit in a higher position than the other. So just watch out for that. It's kind of like somebody thinks they're right and can't see why they might be a little bit, what would you say? Not drunk on, but that's the key. Drunk on their ego is the sentiment. And that might be the conversation that you end up having. It's not the most bubbly. It's not the most lovey, but it is communication. And Tauruses, if there was anybody who was going to get a communication like that, it's going to be you guys, because you guys have the strength to deal with it. You don't want to. Not saying that you want to have tense conversations. And this isn't the worst. It's not the Devil card. It's not the Tower card. It's not the worst tense conversations. But it's almost like somebody who rubs you the wrong way because their attitude is a little bit, just a little bit too egotistical kind of thing, right? But in their way, they are trying to communicate with you. Like I said when I was stuttering through this, I think this person does not necessarily have the best communication skills, although they are trying. And that's where gratitude is probably going to come into play. It's probably going to be your need to have gratitude with this person because they are trying to give what they can. And that says something. The fact that they're trying does speak to the fact that they do value you. Right? They do have a wantingness. They do have a desire. They just might not be the most efficient at it. So I'm going to leave you guys off with that. And if you guys are ever interested in a private reading like this is what one of my same day readings look like. I have 2 question readings that are only $20. If you ever want one, the same day that you order that reading is the same day that I send it back to you. They're very straight to the point, like this kind of vibes. And it doesn't take me a friggin' week or something to get them to you. So, yeah, or you can head to my TikTok where I have some more free readings. I've got love readings, career readings over there. And Taurus, you guys already, like I said, I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video, your full yearly readings in love are already available. They're up on my YouTube right now if you're ever interested in that. But if you're not interested in any more further tarot readings, just hang out with me if you want. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I just talk about my life in like very small details. I'm not trying to run like a super blog or anything. I woke up this morning and my daughter was doing her homeschool. So I posted about the fact that she was doing work on her own. It was just, I'm just chatting like a normal human because I am a whole human, a whole normal human here. And if you ever want to find me on Instagram or Facebook, I am the only Linny D that has green hair in her profile picture. So I'm really easy to find. I will talk to you guys later. Ciao for now.